and welcome to Martech Advisor's Executive Interview Series. I'm Ginger Conlon, a contributing editor to Martech Advisor, and joining us today is Malcolm Cox, who is CMO of Grapeshot. Welcome, Malcolm.
Welcome, and hi, everybody.
So glad you're here with us today to talk about what skills marketers need to succeed. And it's an especially fitting topic because not only are you a CMO, but you also work with CMOs all the time, and other marketers all the time in your role. So what I'd love to do is kick off with you telling us briefly about your career journey to becoming CMO of Grapeshot.
Right. So my career's taken many twists and turns, and I started working for media and media brands, and I would work in research and marketing at the time. And I think getting a grounding in research has put me in good stead for everything that I've done in my career. So understanding consumer needs and motivations through good research, and we used to say research rather than insight when I started off, that has done me well. That then has got into sort of the world of behavioral economics, and I worked in an agency called Naked, a communications agency, which was founded on principles of behavioral economics, and that taught me that those consumers, when you try and understand their needs and motivations, they don't always say what they mean. And so the ability to ask questions to discover what they really got on their minds was important. And as I've come into Grapeshot by the way of Naked, I've discovered that brands and culture are at the heart of everything good marketers do. That behavior builds brands. So whether that been previously when I've been working with media brands, where in the UK I launched the Kiss brand, I created the Magic brand. That it was about the behavior of those brands that built them, or whether that's today working at Grapeshot when we're looking to engage marketers and help them understand how marketing in the moment can change the behaviors of their consumers. I know it's behavior that builds brands.
Absolutely. And that's a great perspective that you have, having that really deep understanding of how important it is to understand customers today. I think that's so valuable. So from that perspective, what do you consider to be the most either important trait or most important skill for specifically a marketing leader today?
Right. I think you've got to understand and like people. Right? And that's where it starts from, and understand how you can enrich their lives in some way in order to engage in meaningful dialogue with your customers. So that's of paramount importance, is to understand and like people. And then I think secondly, for the modern marketer, you've got to have flexibility, because everything is changing around us, right? And it's changing at a scale that we've never seen before. So what you were doing yesterday won't be the same as today, and I'm sure it won't be the same thing that you're doing tomorrow. Now, listening comes into play. You can't expect to keep up and know everything. There's just so much information and knowledge out there. So listening to other people so that you can keep abreast of those changes is absolutely vital. But you know what? The basics are still the same, because we're still talking about people, and people are a people. So I often think that when marketing is just about applied common sense. It's applied common sense, but the language and the words that we use change according to the fashions. So my thought is always to hire experts who know more than you do, who are better than you are, and use your experience of people and process in order to drive marketing change and the marketing agenda through the organization with those experts that you've hired.
Excellent. So if you are, say, mid-career and you're looking to become a marketing leader, what are some steps that you can take to get the background that you need to be able to do that? Be a good listener, have those communication skills to get your message out within the organization and out to customers as well.
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, most of the skills that I've described really come from the University of Life rather than from a particular place. But I do think having sort of frameworks and processes and sort of academic backup will give you confidence in the University of Life in order to make better decisions in your career. So there are places where that you can go. I mean, like the IAB offer good courses, Google offer good courses. in the UK, there's quite an advanced sense of the Institute of Marketing with their certificates offer people good backgrounds, and of course there are MBAs if you're able to afford or take that route. But the main thing really I'd say is you know, marketers tend to be a good sociable lot who are looking to help others. So ask questions. And in my career, moving forward, there was always somebody, if you were to buy them the right kind of drink at the right time, that would answer your questions and you could learn from. And I think that remains true today as it was then.
Absolutely. I find that as well. It's one of the reasons I love to go to conferences. You're always going to learn something new and meet some interesting folks. So.
Right. And how often do you learn something more at the bar than you do actually in the conference room, right?
Exactly. So, let's switch now and talk about the marketing teams. And we had another great conversation that I'll tell folks about later on that they'll want to check out. But during that, you had mentioned how much data there is out there. And so, of course, there is so much data available. There's all this new marketing technology. And of course, that's changing the marketing landscape, which means that marketers' roles need to change as well. So where are you seeing the greatest need for new skills, and what are some of those skills?
Right. I mean, there's no doubt that we are living in the data-driven age. But, ever was it thus in many respects? I mean, what technology has brought is the ability for us to be able to analyze that data and take action and make decisions. So we're actually quite privileged as far as that goes. But I think that has also brought some issues that we need to address and need to address with the skills in the teams. So just because we've got the data doesn't mean that it's of high quality. So we need people that can assess the quality of that data in order we make the better decisions. So people who are inquisitive and can ask, how is that data gathered? What does it represent? So those statistical skills of being able to look at the quality of data, look at what it represents, look at what good sampling is all about, is as important today as it ever was. Perhaps too many people are willing just to take it at surface value that the data is high quality and not ask those appropriate questions. The second area which we need to add to that is the area of behavioral economics. So I think it's how I describe it. This is where data science meets social science. So just because you've got a set of data which purports to say what customers are thinking and doing doesn't actually necessarily mean that's the case, because people have an awful habit of actually doing the opposite of what they would say. Just look at polling intentions. Just look at the ability for pollsters in general elections all around the world to get that wrong. So what we need to do is look at how we ask questions, what those questions are about, and what the motivations are for people to do that. So then to link that, what are we all going to do with all of that? Well, for me, the holy grail is to start to link data, behavioral economics into creative and ideas, which will deliver true innovation for the marketeer. So we need to ensure that with this this trend towards being data driven, that we don't completely abandon the ability for creative and ideas to sit alongside that in order to deliver change within the organization. And that's what we're doing here at Grapeshot. We're separating our marketing team out into three areas: emphasis on brand and creative, on insight to understand consumers' real intentions, including behavioral economics, and then the whole area of data analysis, analytics, sales and marketing automation to drive those efficiencies and that effectiveness of communication that we all want to do.
That's really interesting. So, and then you have kind of processes for those three teams to then collaborate and bring all their insights back together to inform the brand and creative.
Right, exactly, and that's kind of my job as well, to knit them all together to ensure that they're not three silos acting apart. Together we are greater than the sum of our parts.
Absolutely, and so that's a great lead into my next question. You've talked about some of the qualities that you think marketing leaders need, and the skills of marketing teams. So when you're hiring, what are some of the other things in addition to what you've already mentioned that you look for in a marketer?
So not just for marketing, but for Grapeshot as a whole, because we believe that culture and behavior builds brands, then it's really important that we're clear about what our culture is about, and that the people we bring into our team appreciate that, value that, and can enhance that. So for us, our values are simplicity, transparency, faith in people. And that's as much about what we do in terms of our products and the things which make us different and special, but also how we're going to get on together as a team. So it's important that people understand that they're the behavioral values of the organization, because behavioral values will build the culture and the culture will build the brand. And we expect the marketing people to be the number one brand ambassadors. They've got to live and breathe it every single day to set the example to the rest of the team.
Absolutely. And so with all the change, I love the fact that earlier you said that marketing was kind of applied common sense, and it really is about listening and understanding people and enjoying all of that. Along with those things, I feel like with all the change happening, there are elements of marketing that have been core to being a marketer basically since marketing existed, and will always be central to being a marketer, no matter what crazy change happens like down the road. So what is something that you see as one of those core elements of being a marketer that is just true no matter what else is going on?
I think it starts with people again. You have to love people. You have to be fascinated by people. You have to think that common good can be created by people doing things together. And you have to believe that marketing as a discipline is capable of enhancing that and can deliver the common good. So when you're doing your strategic visions and your missions, which tends to put your organization onto a higher plane, you've got to truly believe it and think that organizations can deliver good. And I think that in the world of tech, you get this tension sometimes between things and people. It can just be about things and making things and doing things, whether that be product or technology, etc. So I think it's beholden on marketing and marketeers to be thinking about the other side of things. There's no such thing as things unless you've got people. So celebrating people and what they want will enable us to make better things. And I think that's as true today as it was yesterday, but perhaps more pertinent today because of the tech age and the data age that we live in.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes. You need to stay connected to people and to understanding them. Absolutely. So, Malcolm, I want to thank you so much for your insight and all of your advice. And I want to thank everyone who's watched the video with us today, and just let you know that Malcolm and I also had a great conversation about live context marketing. So I hope you'll check out that video as well. And also subscribe to Martech Advisor's YouTube channel for other executive interviews. And Malcolm, again, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.